Good afternoon. It is Wednesday, noontime Central, and that can only mean one thing. It is time for the live Q&A with the one and only me. And thank goodness there's only one and only me, because I'm not sure the world could handle more than just one me. I'm kidding, of course. Each week, I spend some time on Facebook here going through the questions that folks send me from email, text, and things that they share with me on DMs as well, and answer the questions in as much detail as I possibly can. If you do have a question that you would like to get answered, you can email me at wally@phonesalessecrets.com, or you can go onto any one of the social media portals I'm on, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and drop me a message there with a question. Either way, we don't judge. We're happy to answer all questions. So let's get into it. How do you keep yourself motivated to sell even on days when you're not feeling particularly inspired? Great question. So, it's interesting. Daniel Pink in his book Drive, which I think I have right up here. Yeah, Drive, great book. He talks about motivation being more than carrot and stick motivation. Carrot's the reward, stick is the pain. We'll go after the carrot and the reward, and hey, things are great, but if that carrot's too big or if that carrot's too far away, then I could give up. The stick, if that pain is so much that I'm going to have to avoid everything for the pain, or I don't want to do it again, maybe the pain doesn't work again down the road, I give up. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we want to avoid pain, but sometimes there's a lot of pain in avoiding the pain. And let me explain that. We know we need to make a change. It's painful where we are, but that change is more painful, if you will, than the pain of staying where we are. So we'll avoid that altogether. Okay. So anyway, my point is he says that carrot and stick motivation don't work. He says they're extrinsic motivations. They're external to who we are. So he likes autonomy and then mastery and purpose. He basically says, when I get to do what I need to do, where I want to do it, and I have control over my own destiny and make decisions about my life, and with that, if that's what I'm shooting for, then that is something that's going to keep me motivated for a long time. Mastery, when I look at the list of all the things that I have to master, the person I have to become, the challenges I have to overcome, the skill sets I need to learn to make things happen, that is not necessarily a checklist, but it's a list of things you're going to have to do in order to make this autonomy a reality, right? So that list is much longer than, maybe the 6 months it might take you to achieve a goal. And then lastly, your why. Okay, and so Simon Sinek's book, actually I'm reading, I think it's over there, but his book, Find Your Why, is about, hey, your why is rooted in two things. Number one, it's rooted in some sort of pain that either you don't want to experience or you don't want somebody else to experience. And, Zig Ziglar says you're not involved in your goals until you're emotionally involved in your goals. So honestly, avoiding that pain or letting that pain serve you is part of that. The other part of it is that part of your why is it's not a thing or a person or a when, right? People are like, my kids are my why. Well, your kids are a who. Retirement, that's a when. Money, what? House, what? Car, what? Right? He says that your why needs to include something where you contribute something to change the outcome over. So contribute X in order to achieve Y. So your kids may be a who that are really important to you, and your why may be, hey, listen, you know what? I don't want my kids to have money problems like I did when I was a kid, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I do everything I can every day to prospect and get done what I need to get done, okay? And so by having those three things in your plan for what you want to do long term will help you get over some of the days when it's tough. Now look, there's other things you can do. Nobody's perfect, right? There's still going to be days where we shame ourselves. There's still going to be days when we beat ourselves up. There's still going to be days when we're sick and we're tired. That's life, okay? So number one, if you need a day off, take a day off. It's not the end of the world, okay? And now if you take 10 days off or something like that because you don't want to do it, that's a different story. You want a day off, take a day off. Find an accountability partner. Find somebody who's going to push you through on the days you don't want to do it. Somebody you can call and say, hey, I'm dragging Heine today. Can you help me out? And then, make sure that you live in day-tight compartments. That's what Dale Carnegie talks about, and how to stop worrying and start living. Live in day-tight compartments. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about yesterday. Yesterday's over. Tomorrow's not even here. And just focus on doing what you have to do and getting through that session right there of calling or whatever it is. But that's my overall plan, is having a long-term plan that's not just rooted in, hey, I get a car, or hey, I'm going to take care of my kids, and really think about, the pain you're trying to avoid or the pain that you want somebody else to avoid as part of that, and then tie that into your autonomy, your mastery, and your purpose. Okay, if you have further questions on this, hit me up. I can probably hop on the phone with you and give you a little more clarity. Number two, what are some of the biggest trends in sales right now, and how can we stay ahead of the curve? Well, obviously AI has taken off dramatically. I saw a great article today on Facebook, not article, but post today from Nick Krem, who's a great EXP agent and just started an amazing revenue share program for the lending industry and for real estate agents. So super excited. But he had said that he felt that AI was going to put most agents out of business, and I was like, I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, but I do agree that it is going to impact people significantly. One of the things I said to him was, when the internet came out, I think officially in April of '95, I think it was April of '95. All the pundits were like, hey, you know what? We're never gonna buy another thing in brick and mortar. It's all going to be bought over the internet. You're never going to buy a car or a house, a boat. It's all going to be done online. Well, here we are, almost 30 years later, and we're still buying a lot of things at stores and in person. I mean, granted, I'm sure Amazon and every retailer with all their online portals have put a huge dent in people going to malls, but malls are still packed on weekends. People are still going to the mall. Most houses are still bought face to face. Most cars are still bought face to face. I mean, you can order one online, but most people go to a car lot. So same thing with AI. AI is going to change things dramatically especially from a marketing standpoint, right? If you're not great at marketing, guess what? AI probably is better, and it can figure out ideas and strategies that you can use to go ahead and market yourself online and do what you need to do from a social media, email, even texting standpoint. So I agree with that. I also agree that agents who don't work with the AI thing, they're probably either going to have to join a team, they're going to get squeezed out, right? Because, and Mike Reese used to say this, I love Michael Reese, top earner at EXP, buddy of mine, he used to say it's not the best agent that wins, it's the best marketer that wins. If you have agents, even smaller agents, who can market the heck out of themselves, they may put somebody else out of business. If you've got a big team that's got a lot of financial resources and they can put a lot of money into AI to grow their brand even larger, it may be that the smaller agent joins them or gets out of the business. So I think it could put people out of business, but it's definitely something that is going to impact how we do real estate going forward, and everybody needs to be getting their head around what needs to happen to do that. Also, social media is continually growing. My concern about one of the trends, though, is that people seem to think that being half naked on a video, or driving in my nice car that you can see, or flaunting my vacation, or doing stupid jokey videos about things, or one of my least favorites is making fun of real estate consumers and other agents. For some reason, people on social media think that's the right thing to do as a salesperson, and I'm thinking to myself, well, if my doctor got online and put out videos about dealing with people like me, I probably wouldn't go to that doctor anymore. Or if my dentist sat there and I see my dentist walking around in his freaking mankini on the beach and hanging out with his family and flaunting his butt, it may work for some people, doesn't work for me. So social media is still a huge trend. A lot of folks still don't have it mastered in sales, period. Needs to happen, but I think we need to do it from the standpoint of what our consumers want, which is they want information. They do want to get to know us as a person, but they want expertise. They want help solving their problem. They need a reliable source to do that. Okay, so those are probably the two biggest things I think right now that folks are going to have to make sure they stay in tune with and keep working with as a couple of trends. And then, what do you wish you had known when you were first getting into sales? Oof. Well, it took me 10 years to get into sales. I graduated from college in 90, and I got into the real estate business in 1998. So maybe 9 years, because and when I say 10 years, because I did a sales internship or a sales job in 1988. So let's call it 88 to 98. I tried sales in 88, and then it took me 10 years from that point to get into sales full time. So what I wished I had known, I wish I had known that it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. It's still hard, but the big thing is that I wish I had known 10 years ago that there was a way for me to overcome the call reluctance issues I had, and the challenges that I had with how I felt about myself, not feeling good enough, not feeling that I was worthy. And I wish I knew back then that there were ways to overcome that easier, faster, better than I even knew. And I just wish I knew all that, because I can only imagine how much more money I would have blown had I started selling in 90 and 98. I'm kidding. No, all I'm saying is I can't imagine how much different my life would have been if I had been able to start selling right out of college, because I was very fortunate to get hooked up with the right people in 1998, and my real estate career blossomed and took off. And I just wish I had known more about the mental and emotional side of sales and how to overcome those challenges that I had, which would have put me in position to do a better job going forward. So I think that's about it. Always want your questions, and your feedback. Certainly check me out here. I also have a Facebook group page where I post a bunch of stuff, and would love to have you here. And look, if you're suffering from call reluctance, procrastination, perfectionism, and you're having trouble getting on the phone or getting in front of a video camera, and it's killing your business and your life, let's have a call. Okay, you can grab time in my calendar at any time you want. Just go to triggersalessystem.com, just like that up there, triggersalessystem.com. Grab 30 minutes and let's talk. Okay? Take care of yourself. Good luck and good selling, and most importantly, be kind to yourself.